Aloha, my name is Professor Wes Porter. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me in a second, but first I want to talk about this program, this course. It's a collection of videos to introduce participants to mock trial. This is the introduction, but it's going to be followed by 10 specific videos. None of them are going to be too long, but it's to really give an introduction into what mock trial is. I'm going to start by telling you the five real kind of best analogies that you'll find in a school setting. And when I talk about school setting, certainly applies to law school. I taught mock trial in law school. I developed a mock trial program in law school, but it's happening in college. It's happening in high school. It's happening as early as middle school, all over. So what is mock trial like? How do we start? First, it's a lot like school. It's a lot like academics because you're going to be learning. But like any great activity, this is learning while you're having fun, learning while you're immersed in, and essentially the back and forth of mock trial and the practicing of mock trial. Second, it's a lot like a club or an extracurricular. It's a course at some law schools. It was a course at the law school where I taught. But for the most part, it's something you do outside of your courses. It's something you do with a team where you're either after school or meeting at different times outside of the confines of a school day. Uh, it's a lot like athletics. I was an athlete. I think it draws athletes because it has all the great benefits of athletics. You're working with a team. You can't do mock trial alone. You're working with coaches and hopefully an attorney and an adult who's able to show you how real trials work. You're working on a long-term shared goal with that team and with those coaches. And it's competition. There's winners and losers. There's a day that you show up for where you compete, and it has all the great adrenaline rush and improvement and progressions that go along with competition. Fourth, it's a lot like those great pockets of schools, in schools on all level that have to do with the arts, whether it's music or playing an instrument or choir or drama. The arts, it has that aspect because it's about presenting, it's about assuming characters. That same shared goal that you run up to, it has a day, the competition. Just like a game in athletics, you have the competition, just like the recital with a performance or just like a concert. There's a day that you show up for where you compete, and it has great benefits for everyone. The fifth one, I think, is unique to mock trial because you're emulating a professional. You're emulating someone who's in a profession, specifically the legal profession. You will do, as I did as a trial attorney, just sort of in a classroom setting and in a competition, you'll learn how to give a jury address and ask questions of witnesses and object and learn all about trial. It has great value, and we're going to talk about the objectives of the 10 videos next. So in the 10 YouTube videos, we're going to go over specific things that are designed to introduce you to mock trial. I can't cover it all, but I can touch upon what I think are the most important things for you to know to get introduced to mock trial, to understand what mock trial is about. The first of which has to do with the basics about who are the players, what are the roles, what's the geography, where do people stand, and who goes where in a courtroom. What are the parts of trial? What's the batting order of trial? What are some of the rules and customs of trial? So we're going to go over all that in the basics of mock trial video. Next, I'm going to talk about some of those benefits that we just highlighted. Why do mock trial? What is it specifically going to do for you? What are you going to get out of it? What are the skills that you'll develop? What are the things that make it so beneficial in my mind? Third, I get right into what's going to make you stand out. If you're going to do something, it only makes sense if you're going to put your all into it. And so these are my keys to how you stand out in mock trial. It's a definitive thing, just like athletics or just like the arts, like we talked about. You see people doing it, but you also see people who are really putting their all into it and really standing out. And I'll let you know how to do that. Um, Mock trial is a team. You don't do mock trial alone. You do it with a team and with your coaches. So I'm going to talk about what it means to be an ideal mock trial teammate. How do you contribute to the whole, no matter what your role is? And how do you make sure that you're standing out as a teammate? The next couple of objectives are more specific to what goes on in mock trial. You'll hear me refer to a lot in an entire video about professional presentation. Really, that's what life's about. When you're a professional, you could be in a boardroom, you could be in a courtroom, you could be just in a meeting at the company. You're always presenting as a professional. So why not be as persuasive as possible? Why not be as organized as possible? Why not be as efficient, as succinct as possible in your professional presentations? I think mock trial helps with that. And if you think about everything we do in mock trial, whether it's speaking directly to the jury in an opening statement or closing argument, whether it's speaking to the court and voicing our side of a motion or an objection to the court, or whether it's questioning a witness. Those are all presentations, and they're different forms of presentations, and it helps you get better at that. Next are a couple things that have to do specifically with mock trial. You're going to understand theme and theory. How do you look at a case? How do you analyze a case? How do you win in that case and adhere to that theory throughout? How do you work with themes, book covers, movie trailers? How do you explain your case to jurors who haven't heard it before? So in a way that makes it really easy, really accessible. That's understanding theme and theory. Of course, because we watch TV and we watch the movies, we know that objections are a part of trial. It's some of the most fun you can have in trial is objecting and trying to trip up your opponent. And really, some of the most satisfying things you can do is if you're the one presenting, if you're the proponent of evidence and someone objects, to be able to handle that objection and get back seamlessly to what you were doing with the witness examination is also really satisfying. So we're going to talk about objections and responding to objections. We're going to talk about evidence. I'm a law professor. I teach evidence. It's a full 4-credit course in law school. It's on the bar exam. It's the most important, one of the most important courses that you can have in law school. But mock trial is in college and in high school and in middle school. So I'm going to give you what you need to know about evidence and about the rules of evidence to really fake it until you make it, to stand up and know what you're talking about as you proceed on mock trial. Witnesses are a huge part, and a lot of times, especially in college and high school, members of our team play witnesses. So I'm going to teach you how to be a solid witness. You don't win the case as a witness, but you can know the facts and know how to answer and know essentially how to do the best by your teammates in the role of a witness, and you'll learn a ton. You could be a percipient witness or a lay witness who just saw something on a given day and you're explaining what you saw, but you have to know that role and get into that character. Or you could even be an expert witness. Maybe you're a tire track expert, or maybe you're a medical expert, and you really have to get down into the weeds and know a different profession, someone who would be called as an expert in those fields. And one of the last objectives that I'll go into is sort of a bonus video is how I judge or how I evaluate mock trial. I have been an evaluator. I've been the actual presiding judge, but I've been an evaluator many times in mock trial. And I can tell you flat out what I look for and how I'm going to decide which team prevails, which team wins at that trial, which team presents more effectively and more persuasively at that trial. So I'll give you those hints, and so you know them. Those are about the 10 videos that we're going to do as part of this series. What I want you to do is, if you're going to participate in the program, you can follow on the YouTube channel. It's at WPorterable. Follow some of the hashtags that are mentioned on this slide. You can always contact me with any questions about anything that's on a video or requests for other videos. If you're a team and you're working on something and you want to know about something, my channel already has a couple thousand subscribers, a couple 100,000 views, but it has about 60 videos that were actual lectures in law school on the topics related to trial advocacy and evidence. So I think that could be helpful too. I have been an attorney and a trial attorney for a whole career. I've been a law professor that teaches not only evidence, but criminal law and criminal procedure, and specifically skills courses like trial advocacy, mock trial, and everything related to what goes on in a courtroom and how you introduce evidence in a courtroom. This is a formula. This is an approach. And what I want you to do is learn a little bit about mock trial through these introductory videos. If you make it through and you watch all the videos and you contact me that you've done so, there'll be more installed for you. I'll introduce to you a mock trial fact pattern. I'll give you some things to do in the fact pattern so you can actually practice them with me in a live section and receive feedback from me. And then people that make it through all the stages, all the videos, and some of the live sessions, as well as actually trying out parts of mock trial and getting my feedback, you'll get a special gift at the end. In addition to a certificate, you'll get my kind of top secret reader or collection of handouts that relate to mock trial. So I wish you the best. Contact me if you have any questions, and aloha.